Yo, what's up everybody? Jumping here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my Krogan Engineer build for Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer. The Krogan Engineer now is really ridiculous. The motherfucker's still flimsy, you will die a lot, but the damage you can inflict with the combos now are insane. I definitely want to say that the Krogan Engineer has the strongest tech combos in the entire game. You can actually kill most enemies on gold with one combo. They're that fucking good. But yes, the Krogan Engineer is fucking amazing. A lot of people were requesting to see this build because I talked about it in my last video. And I'm thinking what I'm going to do for my next one will probably be the Solarian Architect, because that was the other one that people were saying I should do. Not a big fan of the Solarian Architect even after the patch, but I will still do his build as well. But the Krogan Engineer now, I think this build is amazing, and it's uncommon, so it's really easy to get. If you want to actually play with this build and wreck some gold, you could definitely get away with it with the Krogan Engineer. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get into the build now. Now, first things first, we're going to talk about the weapon. There's a lot of weapons you can use, but it's going to go right back to the philosophy that if you're going to use this build, I personally recommend something that can help you set up even more combos. So I would recommend a gun that shoots really fast so that you can use an ammo type like incendiary ammo and get even more combos that way. So the Equalizer is a great gun, and the Shadow is a fantastic sniper rifle for setting up combos. The Shadow is definitely one of the best weapons in the game now. If you haven't tried it, you should totally try it. It's extremely good. Now, there's other ultra rares like the Hurricane or the Paw, but most people might not have those, and if you do have them, they might not be leveled up. So the Equalizer and the Shadow is probably the weapons that I would recommend unless you have the Paw, or if you have the Hurricane, then use that. Now for the equipment, 100% use the engineering kit because you want to do more tech damage if possible. Now moving on to the booster, I'm going to recommend power and efficiency. The other one you could use is tech damage if you want to go ahead and just boost that damage, but you really don't need any booster. Now if you have the efficiency, you're going to have better recharge speed, and it's going to allow you to do more combos. I like to use the boosters for the videos, which I normally don't use boosters at all, but I like to do it for the video's sake. That way I can actually go ahead and show the build being a lot stronger. Now the other thing that I would recommend is incendiary ammo. Even if you only have incendiary ammo 1, it still is good because you can actually set up extra combos with your gun, which is always nice. Now moving on to the build, what I personally like to do is to leave assault turret at 1. Now I would say this build is really good if you want to be stationary. So if you want to find some cover and just hold up there, if you're playing on like Firebase 0 a lot and you're just doing combos behind cover, definitely you don't probably need rage. I do like to move around, although I do find myself a lot of times sitting behind cover with this build because this build's extremely flimsy, and I really hope that they will do something about that in the future to make this build actually work a lot better and not die so fucking much. But as of right now, you're really flimsy. You're probably going to go down if you try to run around. So normally, it's best to just kind of find some cover and chill there. And if you're going to do that, I would 100% recommend leveling up Assault Turret. Maybe not all the way, but definitely at least to rank 5. Because at rank 5, you get 35% recharge speed, which is amazing as long as you have your turret out. Now, I would personally probably recommend the cryo ammo. Even if it doesn't always work, you can still throw the turret out next to you, let the turret shoot some enemies, and then you get the recharge speed from OmniLink, and then that's going to allow you to do more combos. So that's the way to think about it. But for my build, I like to go for Rage because I do like to try to be a little bit mobile. And with Rage, I can find myself not dying so much, which is actually kind of impressive. I did not think that that would work, but it does actually, because every time I'm about to die, I will go into Rage. It will give me damage resistance and health regeneration, which is extremely important. Now for Overload, 100% I recommend recharge speed because of combos. Now this is kind of up to you, but I really like this. I like to go for the anti-shield Overload. That way I do a lot of damage to shields. I do 110% extra damage. In fact, I think it's even more than that. Let's take a look. Because the starting damage is 125%. So yeah, we're talking about like well over 200% damage to shields. This will knock down almost every shield on gold. The only thing that I think will not lose its shield fully is a sharpshooter. Everything else will actually lose their shield in one overload. Maybe not the observers, I'm not sure. So I don't want to say that I'm wrong. But for the most part, this is a really good ability to take down shields. Now, you could go for more chains, but just know that if you do a lot more chains, it's just going to stun more enemies. It's not going to detonate multiple explosions or anything like that. Now, it's going to be the same kind of setup for Incinerate. This is something I would maybe recommend changing up a little bit. I've always been a big fan of Radius on Incinerate. I don't know why. It's only 2 meters, but when I throw it out, a lot of times I can hit like multiple enemies with the Incinerate, set them on fire, stop them from shooting, because the stun that you actually get off of Incinerate is really good. I do love the stunning ability of this power if it hits. But unfortunately, a lot of enemies will actually dodge it. That's the biggest downside with Incinerate, especially Outlaws. Outlaws are like fucking pros at dodging Incinerate. Now, my friends have been telling me for the longest time I should do Burning. They're like, dude, use Burning. Burning's amazing. So I wanted to try it out, and I do like it. It's nice, but I just don't see the point. I personally say go for Radius because the duration is good, but you're probably going to detonate your combo like really quickly. So once you detonate that fire explosion, guess what? The enemy is practically dead. They're not going to really need to burn much longer than that. And on top of it, the damage, like the combo itself will almost kill them, and you might have to shoot them once. And that's it. So I just don't see the point of going for Burning. I recommend that you go for Radius instead. That way you can actually hit multiple targets if they're really close to one another, and it will actually be fucking really good. I really do like this a lot. Now moving on, I definitely do recommend Impact though, over Anti-Armor. There's not enough armor targets to really make Anti-Armor extremely good. Where with Impact, this will just increase the general damage, and it's actually really nice. Now, if you are going to be fighting against something with a lot of armor, like if you're just fighting against Outlaws, then Anti-Armor is probably maybe a little better so that you can do more damage to armor. But if you're fighting against multiple factions, 100% initial damage is much, much better. And then, of course, I go for Detonator. I would love to actually try to make double Incinerate work. But right now, there's really no build that can actually throw out 2 Incinerates, set multiple targets on fire, and then detonate multiple fire explosions. That's what I want. Now, a build that would be really good at that would be the Solarian Architect, but unfortunately, you really cannot control that fucking missile. If you could control the missile from the Remnant VI, I think the Solarian Architect has a lot of potential with double Incinerate to be one of the fucking craziest fire explosion builds in the entire game. But right now, because you really don't have much control over that missile, which can detonate multiple explosions with one missile, which is really nice, I just don't see the point of double Incinerate. I don't use this on any of my builds. Not one single build I have, I use double Incinerate. And that's a damn shame. I definitely want to do it because I know it's actually really good. But for this build, 100% you need Detonator because you're going to be detonating combos. Moving on, we're going to go for Combo Detonation and Offensive Tech. This is obvious why. Anti-Armor, so Incinerate will do more damage to armor and Overload as well. And finally, Elemental Tech, which is actually really, really good. Now, the way this power works is that anytime you inflict a status effect, now, I hate the wording in this game sometimes. That's so fucking confusing because it should just say anytime you hit an enemy with a power or something like that, but it has to be a status effect. So I guess they have to be burning maybe, or they have to be like electrocuted. I'm not exactly sure on how it works, or maybe you have to chill them or freeze them, whatever it might be. They're going to take 35% more damage from Elemental. So that's pretty much everything. If you have cryo ammo on your turret, I think that actually plays into this. Because if you're chilling them or freezing them, they're going to take more damage from the explosion. Because this will buff the combo too, just saying. Like, because I would imagine it would, right? You set them on fire, and then guess what? Now they take 35% more damage. Also, your ammo might play in this, which I hope it does. If your ammo would play into it, it's extremely good. So yeah, that's something to consider. Now for Rage, I go for shields and health and also extra damage resistance while I'm enraged. I go for health regeneration. This is extremely good. But the other thing that makes this good is that you get that delay bonus. And that's for both health and shield. So your shields start to come back really quickly anytime that you are enraged. Now, you're not going to be meleeing, so don't worry about that. This is not a melee build at all. Because what we're doing is we're using Berserker, which is going to automatically trigger Rage when we're about to die. So now, once you're about to die, you go into Rage, you get some damage resistance, but the main thing is you get your health back, which is nice to actually be able to regenerate your health to full, and you also are able to get your shields to start coming back a lot faster. Having that delay is nice because normally, like when you're not enraged, this motherfucker takes forever for his shields to start coming back, or her shields to start coming back. I hate rage. I really do. I don't like rage as a fitness. Now for melee, sure, it's great. But for like anything else, it fucking sucks, dude. Now one thing about this though, you can get extra health and shields if you go for this one. Okay, because that's a passive. I don't think you actually have to be enraged to get the bonus health and shields. So that is something to consider. But to me, I just personally like the Berserker more because I'm more interested in getting that delay reduction and also getting all my health back, because the Krogan Engineer has a bee's dick of shield. Like literally, the shield is just terrible. I feel like this build is more of a Drell than a fucking Krogan. Like, it really pisses me off. But overall, it does do a lot of damage with its combos. The combos on this build is fucking insane. Alrighty guys, so that's going to pretty much do it for the build portion of this video. Now we're going to get into the gameplay, which of course I'm going to be doing a lot of combos, but guess what? I'm not going to have a team there to back me up. I told my friends before we started this, guys, just play like whatever you want. I don't care what it is, just don't play stuff that's going to back me up with combos. I don't want to show another video where we're doing like 1,000 combos together, because most people do play with randoms and they won't have that ability. Now, when you do play with randoms, I'm sure the randoms will sometimes help detonate combos and stuff. It will happen. But overall, they're not like actively trying to work as a team to do a bunch of combos. But this build is great on its own. You don't have to have a team there. It's better with a team, absolutely. But if you want to just play gold by yourself with randoms, this build fucking works, man, and it freaking wrecks. Alrighty guys, well this is going to be the gameplay, and it's going to be on the map Paradox against the Outlaw, which I actually ended up regretting big time. I really wish I would have not have fought these fucking bastards, because honestly, Incinerate tends to miss a lot against them, where I've noticed against the other factions, it really doesn't miss all that much. Some enemies, they never dodge it, they're always going to get hit, like boss level enemies or like Krogans. You'll always hit them with Incinerate, but the Raiders and the Sharpshooters and the different armored targets, they'll fucking dodge that shit in a fucking second. And that can be a little bit frustrating with this build, is that Incinerate is very powerful and strong power. That is the reason why the combos are so strong, in my opinion. I think that's what it is. I don't even know why I said in my opinion, because I'm pretty positive that's what it is. Incinerate is so damn strong that it will actually like kill the enemies, or at least make the combo do just a little bit more damage, because you're inflicting so much extra power damage, and it's fucking crazy, man. Like I said, like this is definitely the strongest tech combos that you can do on anybody right now, because Overload is a great power, and Incinerate, just when you detonate with that, it's just so strong. You will kill Raiders, Assemblers, Chosen, whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter. You should kill them with one tech combo. And when you do a tech combo, you're generally going to want to do it to try to stun enemies. The fire combo, which is an option, but unfortunately, remember, because enemies can dodge Incinerate, sometimes it's a bad idea to just throw out Incinerate first, because they might dodge it. And then guess what? You just fucked up your combo. You're not going to get your fire combo. So normally, it is better to use Overload because they can't fucking dodge that shit, and that will stun them. Then you hit them with Incinerate and get the tech combo. But if you want to get the fire explosion, it's a lot more powerful. You will like just do crazy damage. I've done a couple fire explosions on this build, and I don't really want to say anything and then be wrong about it, but I'm pretty confident that I can do about half the health of a Berserker with one fucking fire explosion. It's pretty fucking crazy. Actually, I just did it right there, and that pretty much proved my point. I just remember when I was playing with the build, I was like saying to myself, damn, these things are strong, dude. Because Berserkers have like 14,000 armor? They might have nerfed that a little bit. If I remember right, I think they did. That was in the patch notes for 1.6. Is that they went ahead and nerfed the Krogan's armor or whatever. The Berserker's overall armor rating. But I'm not exactly sure. I just remember like before the patch, it was 14,400 maybe? Something like that. There is actually like a graph you can look up on Reddit, which will tell you the health of every single enemy, or the armor of the enemies and the shields of the enemies. some fucking nerd out there decided to do it and do all the testing, figure out everything. So thank you, but I would never have the patience for that. I don't understand how people can actually do that kind of shit. Like, what the fuck, dude? Really? That's what you did one day? You just decided, like, you're gonna do all this testing to determine all of the values of the game? But, you know, hey, that's great, man. That's fantastic for everyone else. But if you guys want to know what it is, just look it up on, like, Reddit. I'm pretty sure it's there, and you can actually find all the health values. The only thing I don't know now is, did it change because of the patch? Because if I remember right, the Krogans did get, like, a nerf to their overall armor. So maybe they only have 12,000 now. I'm not exactly sure. Anyway, Krogan Engineer, man, pretty fucking good. And if you play it right, to be quite honest, I would say you can stay alive and also move around. You just really want to have that rage. I think the biggest problem with this build, that most of my friends, I don't think they tried it, because normally I'll discuss builds with my friends and stuff, and sometimes they will have totally different builds and they'll recommend certain things, and I'll try it, and sometimes I love it, sometimes I don't, and I get it, you know, like people just have different play styles, they like different things, and that's fine. And that's why in these videos, a lot of times I try to talk about the other ways of playing. A lot of my friends like to play this build behind cover, not moving at all, and using assault turret. And that's totally alright if that's how you want to play it. I can't stand to not be mobile. In this gameplay, multiple times you're going to see me like get behind cover, because I know if I run out there, I'm fucking dead. I'm going to die, and I don't want to fucking die. So I'm going to take cover a lot of times. But I hate doing it. I definitely prefer to be mobile. That's one of the reasons why I recommend the Shadow Sniper Rifle. It's because you can actually be behind cover and keep your distance. The only downside when you're really far away from enemies is that Incinerate is more likely to miss because they have more time to dodge it. Where if you're really close, a lot of times they don't have the time to actually dodge Incinerate. Or if you can stun them first with something else. So keep that in mind. But the Shadow Sniper is really good. And also the PAW or the PAW. And that's what I'm using in this gameplay. Fucking love this weapon. It's so freaking amazing now. It does pretty good DPS, but honestly I really like it for its ability to strip shields really quickly, and also it can set up explosions with the ammo really quickly. So it's an amazing gun. But the way that you want to play with this gun is the same way that you pretty much want to play with the Shadow Sniper Rifle. Just use it at range. Like, you don't have to get that close. Now having the Equalizer or the Hurricane or something like that for up close is not a bad idea. The Krogan Engineer can carry a lot of weight, so you're pretty much able to put on anything you want. But I really don't recommend weapons that can't set up explosions, although I guess you could. Just know that there's no reason, in my opinion, to use an ammo type if you're going to use a shotgun. I don't know what it is. I cannot set up explosions properly with shotguns or snipers. It's fucking weird, man. Like, in Mass Effect 3 you could, but in this game it just seems like it takes too fucking long. The enemy is generally dead before you actually set up the explosion, so what's the fucking point? So if you're gonna use a different type of weapon, just use like a rail amp or something else, or you can use a fucking shield booster or something, a cyclonic mod. That would be probably a good one because this motherfucker is so goddamn flimsy. See, the problem I have with the Krogan in general is that the shields are like for a Drell, but the health is not like a Krogan. Now, the health is higher than other builds. So you have like a human with 500 base health, and I don't know what the Turians get, but I think it's like 500 or something. Then you have a Krogan, and the Krogan has like, let's say 700. So it has a 200 health increase to the base, whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying. So there's a difference there, but the difference should be much fucking higher. Krogans should have like a base of 1,000. If everyone else has a base of 500, they should have a base of 1,000. But really, I think the base should be like 1,200. And then if you increase it by 30%, you get like 1,500 or 1,600 health, whatever the fuck. That's awesome. Like, that would be amazing. And the whole idea is that, yeah, you're going to get shot, you're going to lose your shield, but you have all this fucking Krogan health, and you're going to survive because of that. And you have health regeneration, all these things to go with it. Because if you don't have the health regeneration, what will happen to you, and I promise this will happen, you will actually be shot. You'll lose your shields because your shields are like fucking pathetic. They're like a bee's dick. You're going to fucking get that shit taken off instantly. Then you're going to get shot and you're going to lose some health, okay? So now you're really low on health. And you can regenerate your health without rage. So you can get maybe like 25% of your overall health or 30%. I don't know what the cap is. I just know that on the Angaras, you can increase that cap to 40%, for example. So there you go. So you're going to be able to regenerate just a little bit of health, okay? Just that little bit of bee's dick of health. And after the wave, you'll get some health back, and that's it. That's all you got. And what's going to happen is, early in the wave, you lose all your fucking shields instantly. You lose all your health. Now you're at that little tiny point. The next time you lose your shield, which should be like instantly, because something shoots you and you lose your shield, you're like, fuck, dude, this is bullshit. You die, because you have no health to actually absorb any damage. That is the biggest problem with the Krogan. So if the Krogan had a ridiculous amount of shields or a ridiculous amount of health, then yeah, they would be beefy. By default, you would say, yeah, no, man, Krogans, if you don't want to die, play Krogan. But right now, they're really not that tanky. I mean, the Vanguard, I think is tanky. I think the Soldier is alright. Honestly, the Soldier, which is the Mercenary, by the way, that's what I'm talking about here. The Mercenary is really good. I love that build. But overall, it's the same kind of deal where it's like, if it wasn't for Flamethrower stunning enemies really well for you, I see that motherfucker dying, even with Fortify. You die a lot. But there is one thing with that build that's really good. You can get 90% delay reduction, which is fucking crazy for your shield. I think Fortify has a 40% and Rage, when you go into it, has a 50%. So that's a 90% delay reduction. That is awesome. So I do really like the Krogan Mercenary a lot. But because of the Turian Agent, it's one of those deals where it's like, well, the Agent's better because Flamethrower is better on the Agent. But I really do like Flat Cannon now because of the Turian Havoc. I made that video with Fun with Guns, and I was pretty much showing off how much I really love Flat Cannon and how much I really love the Turian Havoc. So I think I might go back to the Krogan and try to do something with that. Use Flat Cannon and Flamethrower. But it's one of those deals. It's like a human soldier all over again. What do I skip? Do I go for no rage? Fuck. That's gonna suck. I'm gonna get wrecked. Yeah, that's a big problem with the other Krogans as well. In my opinion, I think all the Krogans should have an increase to their base health. Give them like a ridiculous amount of health. Keep their shields low. Keep them like with fucking Drell, Bees, Dicks, shields. And that's fine. I have no issue with that as long as they have a lot of health. Because this is a big problem with the Gladiator as well. I fucking hate the Gladiator because of how flimsy that motherfucker is. It's really, really annoying. That's another issue. I just wanted to point that out. But as you guys can see, these combos are ridiculous. And remember, I'm not like doing any combo team here. I think I have a Turian Agent on my team. I believe I have a Turian Havoc on my team. And I have an Angara Insurgent. So there are some combos going off because the Insurgent has trip mines. And the Flamethrower is going off. And I'm detonating extra fire explosions and stuff like that. But no one's like just running around and just detonating combos nonstop. And I wanted to show that. And we're also kind of like camping a little bit every once in a while. If I'm camping, you know, this is a way to play the build. You want to just get the Shadow Sniper Rifle. Maybe have something for close range like the Equalizer. Or really anything you want. Maybe the Talon. I don't fucking know. It's up to you. Or, like I said, you can use the PAW. I always call it the PAW. I never call it the paw. Because I just think that's fucking stupid. I know a lot of people do. But it's like, dude, what the fuck? Paw? Like, what are we talking about? Kittens and puppies here? Or are we talking about Mass Effect? It's the PAW. Which probably stands for some stupid shit like Particle Acceleration Weapon or something like that. I don't know. One of you Codex nerds out there can probably tell me. And I'm not trying to, like, rip on you or anything. But I actually do want to know, like, what does it stand for? I'm sure in the Codex somewhere it's going to tell you. And you can tell me. So I would appreciate that. Somebody made a joke. I can't remember what it was. I don't want to say it because I don't remember what they said. But I actually asked them that once. I said, what is the PAW? And this is back before 1.6. And they told me, like, pretty ass weapon or something like that. They were making fun of it because it was so fucking bad. But I don't remember what they said exactly. But it wasn't that pretty ass weapon. But I don't know, man. I would say now, though, it probably stands for pretty awesome weapon. Because, yeah, this shit kicks ass. Anyway. That's pretty much it. I mean, like I said, the Krogan Engineer, the best thing about it, it's uncommon, it's easy to get. Everybody at this point should have her, fucking female Krogan, what the fuck. Not anything wrong with that, but goddamn, can I get the choice to switch the sex? I hate the fucking voice. It's so annoying, dude. I cannot stand the Krogan female voice. It really triggers the fuck out of me. But like I was saying, Krogan Engineer, really good class. If you want to like sit back, it's great. If you want to be aggressive, you can do it, but it's definitely a risky move. Shadow Sniper Rifle's great for this build. The PAW's great. The Hurricane's great. The Equalizer's great. And the combos are strong as shit. You will like literally one combo kill enemies a lot. And when you're fighting something really strong like a Berserker or a Krogan or whatever, the ability to like take off half of their health with one fucking fire explosion, that's pretty ridiculous. But that really goes to show on how strong Incinerate really is. And Overload as well. They're very strong powers, especially together. Alrighty guys, well that's gonna pretty much do it for the video. There was one last thing I wanted to mention. I still would like it if you guys would add me if you want to play with me sometime on Mass Effect. I still play it quite a bit, and if you guys want to be in some videos, you can probably be in videos if you go ahead and add me on PS4. My PSN is Jumpin' Production, so it's kind of like my YouTube name but just without an S. Now if you send me a friend request, send me a message, not a message with the friend request, because there's an option to do that. I'm talking about a separate message as well, and just say, hey, I want to play some Mass Effect sometime, and I will definitely hit you up and we can play, and maybe you can be in one of my videos. I'm not exactly sure, but I just need more people to play because more and more people are now playing other games, and it's hard to kind of get a group of people together to actually record some of these videos. Alrighty guys, well I really hope that you have enjoyed this and that it has helped. If it has, will you please like the video for me? Be sure to subscribe for future videos, and I really do hope that everyone has a very nice day, and peace out.